Hello everybody, welcome back to the Ietsie Klein channel. I'm Khatreda. Today is another super hot day, so I do apologize if I start getting all flustered. um, I do recommend to maybe grab yourself a drink because today we're going to unpack a lot of fluff. So I want to go through all of my WIPS that is currently somewhere in the making. Discuss what I like about them, whether I want to finish them, how long they've been going, and so on. And then also have a little bit of a page through of my journal for 2024. This is all in spirit of closing out the year, because this will be my last video that I record. This is still now 2024 when I'm recording. When I'm posting is going to be the first day of January. So yeah, let's get into it. Before we get into it too deeply, I have made myself some coffee. So I've got these gorgeous mugs that I got from a shop in Bloemfontein called the Yarn Stash Collection. So yeah, I quite like them. Actually, I'm going to take my glasses off because I can see I'm already getting steamy there. Awesome. Cool. So first thing though, this sweater is so hot off the presses. It still, like, I cut off its little ends that I worked in literally just before recording this video, which is partially why I'm feeling so hot, because I was sitting with all of this in my lap while working in ends. So yeah, it is completed. As you can probably tell, the sleeves are very long in proportion to the body. So when I do wear it, it's quite a loose fit and the sleeves are nice and comfy. So I'm quite looking forward to that for winter when it's coming, because I think that this sweater will be very cozy. But yeah, actually it's still inside out now that I'm looking at the ends. But yeah, this is it. I'm quite proud of it. I'm really happy with how the colors came out. And yeah, this was a very enjoyable crochet. I am thinking about putting a little bit of a rib on the bottom, just because the difference that the rib made on the neckline in terms of cinching it in and giving it structure was quite incredible. So I think that if the same is done for the bottom, it's going to be a much more convenient fit, and it will also add a little bit of length, because in the front and the back it feels like it's a little bit too short and I keep wanting to pull it down. But yeah, all done. I'm so happy I managed to complete this in a month. Very, very pleased with that. And then let's get into the WIPS. So no particular order, I literally just piled them into a heap here. So there's no favorites, no preferences, nothing, not even like time scale. Like, it's just, oh my god. Cool. Let's get into the first one. That's the easiest one to reach. This is my start of the Clint shawl. So it's a lovely shawl that has like a what's it called? Quilting style block in the middle. So you can start seeing the patterns emerging here. And you knit these blocks, corner to corner blocks essentially. So it's a really fun knit. I do want to get back into this. I just got carried away with Christmas knitting and minis and all sorts. So the yarn that is used in this, the grey is from Black Cat, and then the colors is from Luna Fibers. So it's her Halloween set that she did. So it was themed in the Hocus Pocus theme. So you had some themed stitch markers. There's one of them that's in here that came with it. And yeah, it was quite a lovely box. Then I'm just going to move from this side to this side if you wonder why I'm putting down and picking up. Then we have, this is the Lathe cardigan. Oh, the Clint shawl is by Natasha Hornby. I'll put links for everything underneath, but yeah, just so you're aware. This one is the Lathe cardigan. So I've taken the needles out of it. I'm just going to undo this stitch marker just so I can show you guys in full length. There we go. So I am modifying it a little bit. on the back. Let me just not lose that one. Stretch this one out. There you go. So you can see there the pattern coming out. So this is the lace cardigan. It's worked in stripes and worked back and forth. So what I've done is I've worked out roughly the middle of the back panel, and I'm putting a motif from Star-Crossed Knits that's included in her what's it called, the tarot card pullover. So you get these motifs with that pattern, and so I've just included this because being extra. I'm working this up in Dream Spell dye works, and then the white is just Al Merino. I'm really enjoying this one. I will definitely continue it. It's just sometimes difficult because my husband likes watching anime, and if we're watching anime, I can't pay attention to charts as well. So I gotta knit this one when I'm doing my own things and watching TV that doesn't need to be read. Cool. Then the next one. Whew, this one's big already. It's almost done. I just need to work these two little bibbies still. So this is the Stella shawl. I started this as part of the make-along that Made by Gillian hosted last year. Well, this year actually, it's still 2024. So this pattern is by My Square Hat. It is an absolutely incredible pattern. I have modified it a little bit because I started going absolutely bonkers with these plain Essie sections. So I decided about whether I need to finish it or whether I'm going to just change what I'm doing. So I decided to change what I'm doing and actually finish it rather than getting so frustrated that I don't want to work on it anymore. So it's just linen stitch throughout now, but I am respecting the way that the increases work on this Essie section. So the bone of this is still little Essies. So yeah, I am in love with the colors. So the bright pink is from Luna Fibers and the purples is from Dream Spell Dye Works. And I'm really liking how this is working up. I need to finish this one. I really want to finish this one. But yeah, the rows are getting long. You know when the rows get long? Yeah. Then this sock is a one sock. Jua's going to say, you need to dance on the next sock. Sorry, Jua. So this is the Midsummer Dancer socks. They are by Sari Nordland. They have this lovely lace detail that makes like little flowers. So yeah, unfortunately, this particular sock doesn't fit my foot. So I worked it in the rows that I expected and as per other socks that I've done before, but I'm not sure whether it's the yarn or the needles that's causing it to work up differently. But it does fit AJ's foot. So once I make the other one, AJ gets a pair of socks. The next one is a sad one. So this one I do want to frog. So this is the coat. So it is a cardigan. I'm going to show you like this. And then I'm going to show you the gorgeous back piece, which is all over cable work. I absolutely love this pattern. I love the design, but I'm not sure about a particular feature of it that is causing issues. So on the front panels, you can see it if I hold it up. You've got this honeycomb section that is topped by a cable. This cable was made by swapping stitches around as you were knitting flat. Now, as you know, flat knitting and cable knitting is not one-to-one when it comes to how far it goes widthwise. So because of the honeycomb section and then the flat section just above it, you can actually see it with the shadows quite nicely. It's cinching in the fabric at the top there. And I don't think I would enjoy wearing the sweater with that cinching happening there. And I also don't think it's something that can be blocked out, because even if I were to pull this, you can see that like the cables want to pull back all the time, and that cinching doesn't really go away. It does get a little bit better, but it doesn't go away. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, this sweater do have a friend, so they're both done by the same designer. Just peeking here at my crypt notes, it's by Hiroko Payne. So there's another one that fits. It's a similar type of design to the coat. It's called the Sode or Sode. I don't know how it should be pronounced, but that design also has all over cable work. It's not as much cinching cable work though, so it is a little bit more forgiving when it comes to comparing the knitting to the cable work. So yeah, I am considering maybe pulling this one out and then knitting that one with this yarn, because both it's designed to be with worsted weight yarn. I do still have quite a few skeins of this one, so what I could also do is just leave this one as is, start knitting the Sode in winter, because goodness knows this heat is too much to start it now, and then see how it works up and decide whether I want to reclaim yarn for this should I need it. So yeah, it's very sad though, because there is hours upon hours of work in this little piece. And I also enjoyed knitting this. Like, it is such an enjoyable knit. It's just that cinching, I'm not sure. If I were to do it ever again, which I think I would, what I would potentially do is, rather than just doing the swaps, like do a decrease ever so often just to even out that stuff. But you'll have to do a bit of a swatch and work out how much, and it's a lot of effort to work that out. Cool. The next one is also a bit of a sad one for me because of personal importance. So this one is the Stria by Andrea Mauri. So I have finished another Stria. That Stria I started after this Stria. This Stria I started in, it was May 2022 or 2023. Yeah, 2023. And this one I was knitting on while my cat was very sick and then eventually passed away. So this piece of fabric has a lot of stress in it, a lot of sadness. And I feel bad for pulling it out, but I also feel bad for finishing it. So yeah, I'm not sure what I would do with this piece, whether I would pull it out or finish it. So until I know, I'm just keeping it, because luckily Tani Meansy from Naughty Habit taught me a very important thing. Yarn is not going to degrade or go bad unless you put it in the ground. So I'm not going to put this in the ground. And it's just going to stay pretty and beautiful until I decide what I want to do with it. This yarn is from Esteriza. It is yarn that I bought from her directly. It was actually on the trip just before my cat passed away that I bought this yarn and then started this sweater. So it's all tied together. But yeah, cool. Then this one's a very fun one that I do want to finish. I started it and then I got busy with other projects, and yeah, so it's a very bright one. It is yarn from Luna Fibers that I got from Kaylee, and we traded for some of it and some of it was gifted. I'm not sure exactly which ones these are. I think these are the traded two. So yeah, this is the Citation by Casapinka. It's a very fun pattern because I don't know if you guys know, but she has this thing with her cat. It's part of her marketing, where her cat is Sharon from Security, and she gets up to shenanigans and she's full of nonsense and she's really a grumpy child. So as you're going through this pattern, the little parts and pieces is like little stories that Sharon from Security is telling you. If I remember correctly, these Stripes is around not letting people get away with egregious bullshittery, as she calls it. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's a very fun pattern. So I definitely will be working on this some more once the mood strikes again. I think it's maybe a good one for this heat because it's still tiny. So maybe I'll pick this up after this video. Cool. I'm just going to drop it. Balls must roll where they want to roll. The next one is another one sock. This one I actually knit on my knitting machine. It is also for AJ. I need to finish his friend and then just turn the ribbing around. So on knitting machines, you've got 2 flat beds. It's meant to be able to do ribbing, but in a certain configuration you can get it to knit a tube, but then you can't do ribbing on that tube, which means that you need to manually flip your stitches around for the ribbing, which is fine because you get a sock out of a knitting machine, heel and all. So yeah, it's quite fun to do them. They don't take as much time as hand knitting, obviously. You won't be able to do complicated designs on them or anything like that. But yeah, I'm quite glad that my knitting machine can do this. The next piece is also a knitting machine piece. Oh, that yarn was from Estreza. That was part of her 2023 sock sets. So this one is yarn from Knotty Habit that I've started making a block sweater with on my knitting machine. It's fascinating how the speckles work up, where there's sections where they're further apart and sections where they're closer. It's really cool. So this is the back panel. And then I've done the front panel, but the front panel hasn't been blocked yet, so you can see it rolls up like a sausage. So this is going to be an open cardigan. I'm knitting it so that I can test the sizing because I want to knit my husband a sweater. And it was the first thing that I tried knitting on my knitting machine, but not knowing how a knitting machine works and the pitfalls of certain actions and how things are affected by yarn and vara vara vara. It didn't fit quite well. Like, it was too long in the body and too deep under the armholes and stuff like that. So I want to redo his sweater, and I'm doing this one as a practice piece because our chests are similarly in size. So this one's going to be for me, and then if it fits him, then I'm going to make him the closed version. So yeah, we'll be finishing this. It's just tough to work on it now because there's a window that's right here that the sun bakes through, which is part of why this happens. So my knitting machine is right here, as you can see. So if the sun is coming through here, then it gets really hot in this corner. So yeah, not ideal for summer. Then the next one is The Night Shift by Andrea Maury. I've done it in my own hand spun, and I started it as part of a class on mosaic knitting with Juanita from Jua Knits. And yeah, it's grown quite a bit, but I need to continue working until I run out of yarn, which will be a fair bit away. So there's these two, and then I have a fair bit of this greeny color still as well. But yeah, it's quite a squishy one. I don't think that the shawl will be quite large. I think it will be a medium-sized shawl, but I think that it would be lovely under a coat in the middle of winter, or if I go to colder climates. But yeah, handspun is fun. Cool. Then the next one is a fun one. This is one of my own designs. You guys might have seen it on my reels earlier this year where I was showing you how to construct a sweater. So this is the top part worked up to where I run out of yarn, and then I do the usual thing where I start the sleeves. So I've completed one sleeve. I'm very, very happy with the fit of this. And then I started the second sleeve. I just need to continue it. But as you can tell, size, heat doesn't work right now. So this is definitely a project for winter. This yarn is unfortunately expired. It is not expired. What is it called? when they don't make it anymore. It's falling out of my head. It's okay. But it's the Arroyo base from Malabrigo. So, yeah. And I actually made a very good friend out of this yarn. So when I started making this sweater, Janine from Black Cat messaged me. That was before she was even Black Cat. And she's like, oh, I also have this yarn. It's so lovely. I want to make a sweater too, but I think I have too little. And I'm like, oh, boo, I'm sorry. So if I'm finished with this and there's leftover, they're going to go to Janine. But in the interim, I have also sent her some yarn that is a nice color match with a solid purple. That's from Natural Fibers. And that's how we made friends, by me just sending yarn because I felt bad for her not being able to finish a sweater in this lovely yarn. So yeah. Then we have one that is giving me nightmares and worries, not because of the knit, because of the fit. So this one is the wishbone. This is the front and this is the back. So the wishbone is by, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this rightly, Kutuk Bakika. It is a lovely design in terms of this stitch pattern. However, I saw a Reddit post earlier, like about a week ago, where someone posted about the sweater and they showed the finished shape with it laid out, how it looks, and then also how it fits. And that's where I'm now concerned, because the sweater's construction is really strange. As you can see, you've got the neck hole here, and then you've got these sections that's coming down. Now, these sections slope really fast, as you can tell. And then from here, you're knitting straight down without any increases or decreases until you reach the bottom of your armhole. You join, and then you continue in the round, and you attach your sleeves, and then you knit them out. So the look of it is going to be that the sleeves literally just jut straight out from here. So it's supposed to be a little bit of a drop shoulder, but the construction doesn't really cater for that. On top of which, because these shoulders go down so quickly, what ends up happening is that when you wear it, as you can tell, I'm hoping I'm not making noise on the mic, but as you can tell, the fabric will be pulled up. And as you can see, when I'm doing that with my hands, it's causing the fabric to like flip. So you end up having this like fold like this at the neck. So I have fitted this as it is here, and it's doing it a little. It's hard to tell whether it's going to continue doing that once it's fully done, joined under the arms with the weight of the sleeves. It's hard to tell whether it's going to do that. And I am very worried with all of this cabling happening that it's going to do that, and I'm not going to wear the sweater. So yeah, this one is currently in the thinking box. It is gorgeous yarn by Woolies. So I bought this with her pop-up that she did at Little Yarncraft. It is a linen DK based, linen and merino DK based. So it's absolutely lovely. But I don't want to knit a sweater with this lovely yarn that they're not going to use. So yeah, also on the fence. Cool. I have also looked at project pages, and it's also hit and miss there. So I don't know. The next one, so this is yarn that I dyed myself. This was one that I started last year because I was scared of doing MCAL from Stephen West. And I never finished this. So this is a cowl that it's released in pieces every day, not every week, for 14 days. I still need to finish it, as you can tell. So this is the Haunted House by Telly Bean Knits. I dyed this yarn myself. I'm quite proud with how the colors came out. But yeah, I just need to finish it. And it's quite lovely. I think it would be lovely in winter as well. But yeah, just got to work on it. And I will. I promise I will. So I'm keeping it together with all of their little goodies in this baggie. Cool. Next, we have, this is the Agneta cardigan by Petite Knit, which I absolutely adore. So this one is worked, let me just work out what is going on here. Oh, golly gosh. I think I managed to stab a needle through the fabric and then joined the cable with it through the fabric. There we go, sorted it out. I just took needles off because I needed them. So yeah, this one is worked in, it's a merino fingering base from Luna Fibers. It is a beautiful light blue with little speckles. So if I hold it up, you can see the slight variegations. That is worked in one color triage with a mohair held double. So yeah, I quite like it. It is just to the point where it's been joined under the arms. I haven't started with the arms at all yet. But I think that this is also going to be an absolutely lovely piece. But yeah, it's starting to get a little bit big and hot, and yeah, but this is such an addictive knit. I think that I would work on it even when it's very hot. Go back in. So this lovely project bag is from Estereza as well. Cool. Then in my Christmas project bag from Wool and Floss, we have my Christmas cast on, which is this one. So this is the Sonder by Mariana from Sweet Crochet Dreams. I'm working it in the Estereza mini set. So I've done the corners and I've started with the V shapes this side, and now it's just going to grow this direction. But this is really lovely and I'm really enjoying this piece. It's really enjoyable to make as well. It's scratching a fun part in my brain. Awesome. Then we have one of my own designs that's still a small little baby. So this one is meant to be a cowl. It's meant to just grow into a triangle until it's big enough to go around your head and then just grow a little bit wider, because I like cowls that can sort of come over your shoulders. So I'm using now the man's name is falling out of my head. I have some of this yarn here. Let me grab it. Altered Yarns. So it's an Altered Yarns blue together with my own handspun that I'm using here. And yeah, it's quite fun. Need to work on this some more. Then the last one is not here. I'm quickly going to fetch it. One moment. I'm back. Okay, the last one is the Dream Weft sweater by Zaneta Hussein. So this one's worked in Knotty Habit. I am somewhere in the middle of a row here. I have joined under the arms already. It is a very interesting piece in that it makes these holes. So you end up using surprisingly little yarn and you go surprisingly fast with just a few rows. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying this piece, and I think I'm going to enjoy wearing it, because in South African summer heat, these heavy pieces, as gorgeous as they are, they get hot and you can only wear them for like 2-3 weeks at a time. But yeah, this might be a year-round little evening throw over. So it is going to be a long sleeve piece, and then it's going to get ribbing to close in this very wide neck a little bit. So yeah, it's going to go from this pink into like an orangey pinky into a more brighter orange. So yeah, super fun. Okay, so that's it for all of my WIPs. There is a few other WIPs, but I've decided that those are definitely going to get frogged, so I don't want to talk about them. They are locking in some gorgeous yarn that I'm very excited to use though. Okay, cool. So let's do a little bit of a perspective shift and we can page through my journal. Alrighty, here we are at my journal. So this was my journal for 2024. I am going to continue using the same book for 2025 because there's quite a lot of pages left, as you will see. So this book is a B5 from Bubblegum Fringe. So you will notice that it is a little bit bigger than your normal A5 journals. They're usually around here for the A5s. So paging through, in the beginning I have some guidelines, just showing you guys. Then these pages I intended as my scrapbooking pages, but as you can tell, I barely even ended up using it. Then next up, we have my year at a glance pages. Just going to page past quickly because there's some birthdays on there that is a bit private. I ended up not using it so much because, yeah, I don't refer back to yearly type of events a lot. So I think for 2025, I'm going to ditch those pages. For 2024, I had this vision pages that I created, which is where I wanted to have some ideas in terms of what I want to do. So one of them was that I want to complete 6 big projects that's bigger than 1,000 meter. I need to update this pages still. So I have done the Star cardigan, the Miss Lamotte Stria, the Aurora cabin shawl, and then a peacock crochet cardigan, which was of my own design. But I also did 2 of the Stephen West MCALs, both the Twist and Turns one and the new one from this year. And I have just completed that shuffle sweater, which is also over 1,000 meters. So that one I definitely reached and exceeded. For community collaboration and creativity, I wanted to continue building the full waist crafting community, which I have done. I want to have 2 big events with the full waist crafters. So we had 2 high teas and we had 2 yarn crawls, a Joburg version and a Pretoria version. And I wanted to support people giving classes and nurture a learning spirit, which I have also done by hosting quite a few classes by Jua. We had a few classes by quite a few people, and that was quite lovely. And then I wanted to run one make-along, which I also did, which was the Ducky knit-along. One thing that was a bit of a miss is creating 4 seasonal handmade outfits. I did do a bit of sewing this year. I made, I think, 2 skirts, but those 2 skirts don't really translate into a whole outfit. And then, yeah, I suppose you can count it, but definitely not 4. Then the next page I quite enjoyed, even though I ended up not using this side a lot. So this is my projects at a glance page. So it's just a list of all the projects that I have. So these were the ones that was rolling over from 2023. And then these was all the new ones that I started in 2024. It is a little bit out of date. I'll explain why in a moment. So I just wrote down the dates that it was started, the dates that it was completed. And if there isn't a completed date, then that is still going on. I think that some of these are a little bit out of date. Some of them I have DNF'd. So that's something I learned from BookTok, which is do not finish. So if it's do not finished, then I've decided that I'm not going to finish it. So for example, you'll see the coat here is DNF'd because I'm not going to finish it. And then the book club cardigan is also DNF'd. So that one was quite an experience because I just couldn't get the yarn to work the way that I expected it to. Then I had a book log. So this is also something that I'm not going to carry over for the next year, mostly because I read a fair bit of books, but when I finish them, I never come back and actually write down the book that I read. So it's a little bit pointless. Then I had 2 pages that I kept for health tracking, which I ended up doing nothing with, mostly because I wasn't sure what I wanted to track. This year I have a little bit of a better idea, but I don't think that I would be doing this in my crafting journal, however. Then I was doing monthly spreads for all of my projects. So what I did was I would break the month up into 4 weeks or 5 weeks, however weeks ended up fitting into the month. When there is little bit is either side, I just decide whether I want to cut it off or carry it over to the next pages. Then I had a section where I would list down all of the WIPS that I worked on, all of the projects that I finished for that month, any ideas that I had during the month, together with a very, very quick and dirty yarn log. So I would just write down anything that I bought. This side would be bought, and then anything that I used during the month. So for January, you can see that I only bought 220 grams, but I used 669 grams, which is quite a nice amount. Then for February, similar thing. In February, I finished the Star cardigan as well as Ken, which is my emotional support chicken. And yeah, I bought quite a bit of yarn, 775 grams, and then I used a lot of yarn, 1.394 grams. So how the using also worked for me was that as soon as it's rolled up, it's counting as used, whether it's knit up or not. So that means in February, I started quite a few projects. And then for each week, I just write down what I did that week, what I thought about it, and all of those kind of things. Then in March, I had the idea that I want to abandon the coat. So I wrote about it here. I finished quite a lot of things in March. I finished the Aurora cabin shawl, as well as the April Fool's socks, my husband's socks, and then the peacock cardigan. So March was a very productive month for me. And then we had April, which is where I finished the Miss Lamotte Stria, as well as the flamingo socks. And we had May, where I finished the Sweet Nothings cami. And then, what is feathers dash dash? I'm not sure. It's okay. And then in June, we finished the ducky socks. That's when I had the cow. And yeah, I quite like this washi tape. Then we had July. July, I didn't finish anything, which is okay. You sometimes have good months and bad months. And then tragedy struck. So what I did was every Monday morning, before I start my work for the day, I would update my journal for the week. However, in August, my team decided that they're going to go into the office every Monday and every Wednesday, which means that it disrupted my patterns. And I never found something that works for consistent journaling again. So you will see that August, September, October, November, and December are all blank. I have tried doing a digital journal for a little bit, but that didn't really work for me. So yeah, I don't think I would do this digitally. Digitally, it feels like you're losing the essence of craft. After my monthly pages, I have a few project pages. So I have some notes about my neon ranunculus experience, as well as some notes about what I wanted to do for February, which is where you post a photo every day of February. The ones that's marked out is the ones that I actually posted. As you can see, I fell off the bus. Daily posting is not for me. Then I have some notes about the star pullover, as well as the archetype pullover. So the archetype is the name of my own design pullover. I still need to finish that pattern writing though. Then we have some notes about the sonder that I've made. This is a new idea that I started having, which I'm going to continue into 2025, where I've taken little cards and then punched holes into their edges so that I can crochet the yarn that I'm using into their sides. And then I paste it in together with the project notes. So this would allow me to still use the paper underneath, should I want to, or to just keep them as memory keepsakes so I can see what the yarn looked like that I used for the project. Then I have a very traitorous Miss Lamotte's notes here. What happened was I wanted to make those notes here, but somehow I skipped 2 pages. And then when I wanted to make the Saunders notes, I thought I was after these traitorous pages, but I wasn't. So here's some notes about the Miss Lamotte's process that I've had. So yeah, after this, I have all of these pages that's still blank and unused. So this is why I'm going to continue using this exact same notebook for 2025. I don't think I would even use up all of these notes. I am going to change the structure of how I'm making notes. So I've made some pencil notes for layouts that I want over the next year. But I'll cover all of those ideas in the next video. So I'll be probably using these many pages for those notes. And then I still have quite a lot for project-related notes or even for 2026. I do really like this size of notebook because it's very spacious. There's lots of opportunity for doing things differently. Because it's a dot grid, you can decide to write this way or this way. It is very forgiving in terms of what you do on the pages. So I'm really looking forward to 2025. And yeah, watch out for my next video where I'm going to go through the setup for my next year in my journal and then share some tips and tricks that you can make use of in your own journal. And that is it from me. Thank you so much for sticking it through this video if you got to this point. Don't forget to subscribe and click the like link if you enjoyed this video. It really helps my channel. And leave me a comment below. What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge for 2025? Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic day further. Bye.